Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is Embracing the Hero's Journey in Our Masonic Experience Part 1. What is the Hero's Journey? By Brother Lucas Minton, 32nd degree, KCCH, and comes from the November-December 2023 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. In this issue, we begin the first of a two-part series on the hero's journey, a mythic pattern found in both our greatest works of literature and in popular culture. We will explore how this journey is also a crucial part of the Masonic experience. Anyone who has taken an English literature class or read hero-centered fiction has been exposed to the hero's journey. Whether the story is of the ancient Sumerian hero Gilgamesh, the Anglo-Saxon king Beowulf, Tolkien's Frodo and the Ring of Power, the Lord of the Rings, or Luke Skywalker's decision to fight the Galactic Empire, Star Wars, this method of storytelling is compelling and entertaining, having a natural story arc for the main character. In this series, we will see how the journey into Freemasonry follows this eternal pattern. First, however, we will examine some of the aspects of the hero's quest in the familiar biblical Moses narrative. The phrase "the hero's journey" was coined by Joseph Campbell in The Hero with a Thousand Faces, first published in 1949. Campbell calls this journey the monomyth, noting great myths tend to contain the same basic 12-step structure. Below we use examples chosen from the Bible and Freemasonry. Stage 1. The Departure. The Ordinary World. While Campbell notes the composite hero of the monomyth is a personage of exceptional gifts, we meet the hero in the ordinary world and identify with him. For instance, Moses of the Old Testament, born under desperate circumstances to an exceptionally clever Hebrew woman, and then raised in the house of the Egyptian pharaoh. After defending his fellow kinsmen from an Egyptian oppressor, Moses is forced to flee and enter the world of Jethro, a wise and kindly Midianite. The call to adventure. Moses is called by the divine through his encounter with the burning bush. Refusal of the call. This occurs when Moses says, "I am not eloquent, I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue." Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, King James Version translation. Meeting the mentor. Moses encouraged and mentored by the Almighty himself. Crossing the threshold. The hero commits to the journey. Moses will lead his people out of Egyptian bondage. Stage 2. The initiation. Tests, trials, allies, enemies. The hero is tested and also learns who is deserving of his trust and who is not. Moses must confront the Pharaoh and his advisors, the mightiest men of the land. Moses unleashes the biblical plagues upon Egypt. Moses is later tested again at Mount Sinai. Even while Moses was receiving the law upon Mount Sinai, Albert Pike notes, many Israelites were ever ready to return to the world of the gods of the Mitzrayim, Egypt. 13th degree lecture, Royal Ark of Solomon. We again see this in the rebuilding of the temple motif prominent in the Scottish and York rites of Masonry as Zerubbabel returns with exiles from Babylon and has the discernment to reject the offers of help to rebuild the temple from those who oppose him, the people who were already in the land. Ezra, chapter 4, verse 4, Christian Standard Bible Translation. Approach to the innermost cave. In the case of Moses, this is the preparation for the most terrible scourge of all, the visitation of the angel of death. The Almighty also institutes the celebration of Passover, an event which is solemnly commemorated to the present day. The ordeal. The hero confronts his greatest fear and personal test. Moses provides instructions to shield his people from the angel of death. He also succeeds in gaining permission for his people to leave Egypt, only to have the Pharaoh renege on his promise and pursue Moses' group with the Egyptian army. However, Moses, using the power of the divine, parts the Red Sea, allowing escape. The reward. The hero meets the personal challenge and, now purified, earns a meaningful reward which may help him later. In this case, Moses has left the land of Egypt with the blessing of the divine. Moses has the ability to intercede with the divine to provide food and water for his people. Stage 3. The Return. The road back. The now tested hero returns to the ordinary world and recommits to the larger journey. Moses leads his people into the wilderness toward Mount Sinai. The Resurrection. This is the most dangerous life and death ordeal for the hero and is the climax of the story. In the Moses narrative, it is likely Moses' encounter with the divine on Mount Sinai and his return to his people a changed man as a result. We also see a more literal resurrection in the case of Jesus, but also, as Albert Pike notes at several places in Morals and Dogma, the theme of resurrection is also present in the heroic narrative of other belief systems. Return with the elixir. Here is the final reward after our hero has been purified, resurrected, and has returned to the ordinary world. Moses presents his people with the 10 Commandments inscribed on 2 tablets of stone, their code of conduct to create a better world, if they will but abide by them. The paradigm of the hero's journey is thus found in the familiar epic narrative of Moses and the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. Masons also follow the hero's journey during the course of their initiation, as Jim Tressner, 33rd degree Grand Cross, notes in his Scottish Rite focused book, Vested in Glory, page 16. Perhaps readers will reflect on how this is so in anticipation of the next issue of the Scottish Rite Journal, in which we will explore the heroic nature of this Masonic journey and how some of the mythic themes come to the fore in the narratives of the Scottish Rite degrees. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.